All right, let's get right into it. We're going to break down a book you've probably seen everywhere, Mark Manson's The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Now, with a title like that, you might think it's all about being a selfish jerk, right? Well, that's where you'd be wrong. The core message is actually a really profound, surprisingly practical way to live a better, more meaningful life.
Right out of the gate, the book hits you with his wild idea, one he borrowed from the writer Charles Bukowski. Don't try. And no, this isn't about being lazy or giving up. It's about stop trying to force things, to stop chasing after stuff that just doesn't matter. It's about getting comfortable with who you are, flaws and all. This is your first clue that this book is going to flip a lot of what you think you know completely upside down.
So, let's be super clear. Not giving a fuck doesn't mean you become a robot with no feelings. It's not about apathy. It's a special kind of indifference. It's something you do, not just something you are. It's the art of deliberately choosing where to spend your energy, deciding what's truly important and valuable to you, and just letting everything else go.
Okay, so if this is an art, how do we actually, do it? It's not just a switch you flip. Manson actually lays out a pretty clear framework for how this whole selective caring thing really works. Let's get into the details.
It really boils down to three big ideas. First, you have to care in a way that feels authentic to you, not how society or your friends tell you to feel. Second, when you hit a roadblock, and you will, the trick isn't to pretend it doesn't suck. It's to care about something on the other side of that roadblock, way more than the difficulty of the climb. And finally, and this is the big one, you are always choosing what to care about. You're the one in the driver's seat, even when it doesn't feel like it.
All right, let's move on to the next major point. And this one's a real mind-bender for a lot of people. The book basically argues that our constant, desperate search for happiness is actually the very thing making us unhappy.
We have this image in our heads, right? That happiness is this perfect, peaceful state with zero problems, just floating along in bliss. Well, Manson calls that a complete fantasy. Real, genuine happiness, he says, is found in the struggle. It's not the lack of problems, it's the feeling you get from actively solving problems you care about.
Seriously, think about it. The joy isn't in magically having a fit body, it's in the rewarding grind of the workout. The satisfaction isn't just in having $1 million, it's in the challenge and the thrill of building the business that earned it. Happiness isn't a prize you get, it's an activity. It's a verb.
Okay, buckle up, because this next section is where the book starts pulling no punches. It takes dead aim at this modern idea that we're all somehow special, unique snowflakes who are destined for greatness without even trying. So, Manson hits us with 3 hard truths that are, weirdly, incredibly freeing. First, you're not special. And that's great. It takes all the pressure off. Second, suffering is a part of life. It's inevitable. Once you accept that, you stop trying to run from it, which is exhausting. And third, failure isn't the opposite of success, it's the path to success.
I absolutely love this way of looking at it. Success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about how much failure you're willing to endure. If you're not willing to bomb, you're not willing to truly succeed. Every single screw-up is just a lesson, a piece of data that gets you one step closer to where you want to be.
So, if we're not special and life is full of suffering, what's the point? Well, this is where it all flips and becomes incredibly empowering. It all comes down to taking total, radical responsibility for your own life. This is probably the most crucial distinction in the whole book. Bad things will happen. That's a guarantee. You don't control that. But what you always control, 100% of the time, is how you interpret what happens and how you respond. That power can never, ever be taken away from you.
So whenever anything happens, you've got 2 clear choices. The first choice is, what story am I going to tell myself about this? Is this a catastrophe or is this a challenge? Is this an ending or is this a new beginning? And the second choice is, okay, based on that story, what am I going to do now?
And this ties right back into choosing what you care about. Think about it. If you say yes to everything and everyone, your yes has no value. It's by rejecting what doesn't matter, saying no to the drama, to the distractions, to the shallow stuff, that you give real power and meaning to the things you do say yes to. And now, we get to the final piece of the puzzle, the big one. This is the idea that cuts through all the noise and makes everything else crystal clear.
It's the ultimate reality check. Sounds blunt, maybe even a little dark, but here it is. Your time is running out. And Manson's point is that fully accepting our own mortality isn't depressing. It's actually the most powerful tool we have for living a good life.
Knowing your time is limited works like the ultimate filter. It just burns away all the small, petty stuff. The fear of embarrassment, the need to impress people you don't even like, all of that just evaporates when you realize your time here is finite. It forces you to get serious about what you truly value and what kind of mark you want to leave on the world.
And that is the final, powerful question the book leaves you with. Life isn't about avoiding problems to find happiness. It's about finding the problems you enjoy having and enjoy solving. It's about choosing the struggle that gives your life meaning. So what struggle do you choose? Because that choice ultimately is everything.